After receiving a spectacular jobs report for September 2023, President Biden was challenged by the media to explain the discrepancy between the economic data and the perceptions of the American people. And Biden gave an answer which was honest and blunt, and then the media proved him right and further debunked a long-standing myth about the relationship between the media and the Democratic Party. But before we unpack all that, if you haven't yet, please hit that like, subscribe, and the alert bell. Maybe check out my Patreon. I'd appreciate the support. All right, folks, so this is a bit of an unexpected follow-up story to a story that we did yesterday, which was about the September 2023 jobs report. So just as a quick recap, it was spectacular. President Biden consistently gets great monthly jobs reports. They're very, very high. 14 million jobs have been created on his watch. And in September, 339,000 jobs were added to the economy, which was twice, it was double what was initially projected. Fantastic news. But then the media challenged him when he gave public remarks about this to explain, okay, the economic data says one thing, but the American people feel something else. Why is that?
I think most people still don't feel positive or feel good news about the economy.
Well, first of all, you just heard the news today, too. They haven't heard it. I think the people, those 300,000+ people who got jobs, feel better about the economy. Look, I got to choose my words here. Close. You all are not the happiest people in the world. What you report, and I mean it sincerely. It gets you get more legs when you're reporting something that's negative. I don't mean you're picking on me. I'm just the nature of things. You turn on the television, and there's not a whole lot about boy saves dog as he swims in the lake. To say it's about. Somebody pushed the dog in the lake.
So the president is absolutely correct, as clumsily as that may have been worded, simply true. Negative stories get more attention than positive stories. It's not just in the media, it's just period. I mean, that's why trash reality TV and drama sell so well. We are drawn as a society. It's not unique to America. It's just how the world works. We are drawn to more negativity than we are positivity, okay? And then what's interesting is, right after this jobs report was announced, the media proved his point, and not just Fox News, CNN of all places. So after the September jobs report came out, the headline from CNN was, "Why the shockingly good jobs report is going to cost you." The implication clearly being that great jobs report isn't really that great. But behold what the same source, CNN, had to say back in 2018 when Donald Trump got half that number of jobs. Trump's right. The economy is doing well, and he deserves some credit. So CNN, part of the mainstream media, which is supposed to be in the pocket of the Democratic Party, is actually praising Trump for doing half the good or getting half the results that Biden got. And meanwhile, Biden is held to this impossibly high standard. The point is this. I don't think it's because CNN journalists or whatever, they love Trump. I don't think it's because they're voting Trump. They probably have a personal liberal bias, but in terms of their reporting, they'll throw Biden and the Democrats under the bus because it generates clicks and attention. And Trump is a constant drama machine. So Trump in power and Trump being relevant, even if they may personally despise it, it's actually really good for business because, again, negativity sells far more and generates far more attention than positivity. And so I want to play a couple of clips here. This is with Jon Stewart more than a decade ago. I think this is about 12 years ago. Okay, he did an extended interview with Fox News, or former Fox News host Chris Wallace. He was employed by Fox at the time, in which they had a discussion about the difference between right-wing media, as exemplified by Fox, and the mainstream media. And I want to play two clips because I think Jon Stewart nails it perfectly.
Because the bias
Some
of
things are indefensible.
The bias of the mainstream media. Oh, I'm not saying it's defensible. But the bias of the mainstream media is towards sensationalism, conflict, and laziness.
Well, okay.
Okay, well put. I want to play one more clip from him, and it's towards the end of that same interview. It's about a 20-minute interview. You should definitely check it out because it still has a lot of relevance, even if the examples cited don't, just because of time. But this is Jon Stewart getting into it again with Chris Wallace towards the end of the interview.
Every single one of the 24-hour news networks. 24-hour news networks are built for one thing, and that's 9/11. And the type of, gigantic news event that the type of apparatus that exists in this building and exists at the other 24 news hours is perfectly suited to cover. In the absence of that, they're not just going to say there's not that much that's urgent or important or conflicted happening today. So we are going to gin up. We are going to bring forth more conflict and more sensationalism because we want you to continue watching us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even when the news doesn't necessarily warrant that type of behavior. So here's my example of what news bias is in my mind. 3 networks, Fox, CNN, MSNBC, are going live to the Nancy Pelosi news conference because they are sure, coming on the heels of Anthony Weiner resigning, that she is going to make some sort of incredible statement about, I'm disappointed in Anthony Weiner about it. So they're all locked on it. And the whole time there's hand-wringing. Oh, I can't believe we got to go and do this. The American people don't care about this. They care about jobs. They care about the economy. That's what the American people care about. We're about to go live to Speaker Pelosi. She's about to do that. She steps up to the podium and says what? I'm not going to comment about Anthony Weiner. I'm going to talk about jobs, and I'm going to talk about the economy. And what did everybody do?
Left.
So what's your proof again about the partisan agenda and what I do? That's the embarrassment. The embarrassment is that I'm given credibility in this world because of the disappointment that the public has in what the news media does.
I don't think
not because I have an ideological agenda.
I don't think our viewers are the least bit disappointed with us. I think our viewers think finally they're getting somebody who tells the other side of the story.
And
One more
who is the
example.
most consistently misinformed media viewers? The most consistently misinformed? Fox. Fox viewers.
So, great interview. He's so good at this. And even though those things came from more than 10 years ago, they're absolutely relevant. Democrats absolutely have to get better with message discipline. There's no question about it. As I said in the video yesterday, facts don't speak for themselves. And if facts and feelings are in conflict, you can just bet on feelings. Feelings will trump facts. Okay, so Democrats absolutely have to get infinitely more disciplined and persuasive in terms of conveying the facts to the American people, while also being sensitive to the fact that there are legitimate economic anxieties and pains still under Biden. Okay, but also, that challenge is infinitely harder when we're in a media ecosystem which wants to grade Republicans on a curve and hold Democrats to the most ludicrously impossible standards. So the media just absolutely made the case. They proved Biden correct, and I want you to keep this in mind, okay? Because again, we have to fight this every single chance we get in the smallest possible ways. There is no liberal bias in the media other than just the fact that reality, as Stephen Colbert famously said, has a well-known liberal bias. But journalists, even in the mainstream media, even those journalists who probably vote for Democrats because they don't, support Republicans, when it comes to their work, they will absolutely throw Democrats under the bus and Biden under the bus in a way that Fox News, OANN, Newsmax, and then right-wing alternate media never will. Right-wing media is motivated by ideology. Mainstream media is, as Jon Stewart said, motivated by laziness, sensationalism, and drama.